Hello Wolfpack, thank you for tuning in to our final show of the semester. I'm Mabel Regalado Hernandez.
And I'm Stone Manning. I hope finals are treating everyone well as we speed towards graduation and summer break. But first, we got a lot to cover today. We got a live look at the Communication and Music Complex after the building flooded last Thursday night.
Callie Honeycutt takes us there. Over to you, Callie.
As you guys can see behind me, the HVAC pipe burst has left quite an impact on the building. There are fans and dehumidifiers littered throughout the first and second floor trying to counteract the water damage. Thankfully, no instruments or practice rooms were damaged. The building did reopen today, but it was closed all weekend, so some events had to be moved, like the Loyola Symphony and Orchestra, which took place at our neighbors at Tulane. If you have any reason to be on the first or second floor, watch your step, stay safe, and have a good week. This has been Callie Honeycutt, PAC News. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Callie, for that update. I hope the building clears up soon. Now, Mabel, how's the weather looking this week?
It's looking pretty good this week. It'll start to feel like an early summer. Warm air from the Gulf is moving in, bringing higher temperatures and fewer storms. Monday through Wednesday, expect high in the mid to upper 80s with some areas near 90 degrees. It'll be breezy, hot, and humid with only a small chance of a few isolated showers. By Thursday, a cold front begins to move in. This will bring in a better chance for scattered showers and storms, along with slightly cooler temperatures. A strong cold front arrives late Friday into Saturday, dropping highs into the upper 70s and bringing in less humidity. Thank God. Just in time for the rest of the weekend in May. By next Saturday, expect partly cloudy skies with highs in the mid-70s and much more comfortable conditions. That's it for weather. Watch for more storms later on in the week and be sure to hit the town the next couple of days when the weather is nice.
Speaking of hitting the town, there's a new flea market in New Orleans and it draws quite the crowd.
It's called the Crescent City Flea Market. Callie Honeycutt takes us there.
Where we going, y'all?
We're going to the vintage market.
Hey.
On April 19th, this spot, the Junebug, a dining bar and event space here in the Central Business District, was packed. More than 20 vendors set up shop for the very first Crescent City Flea Market, a free day-long event offering vintage clothing, handmade jewelry, local artwork, and more.
I love supporting different creators and vendors in the city. I'm from New Orleans, so this is a great way to support my community.
Names like Mecca Vintage, Visual Gumbo, and Hummingbird in the Attic drew shoppers throughout the day. From Maddie Graham of QWQ Thrift, selling vintage is a lifelong love.
I've been doing vintage for probably about a decade now. So I've been doing it since middle school with my sister, so I kind of fell in love with it.
Graham says her inventory was nearly wiped out by day's end, and she wasn't the only one. The market has a sister event in Miami called Magic City Flea, and organizers say this New Orleans debut is only the beginning. This has been Callie Honeycutt, PAC News.
Organizers say bigger markets are coming in May. Follow the Crescent City Flea Market on Instagram for details.
I had the opportunity to investigate how one local market is trying to help make healthy food more accessible for our community.
We take credit card, debit card, or EBT card and turn it into tokens, meaning we process EBT on the behalf of all of our vendors and turn folks' SNAP EBT cards into currency that they can use with anyone here in the market.
Francesca also talked to me about another way that people can get access to healthy food at the market.
And we also have this program called Market Match where we double EBT SNAP dollars. And so up to $40 will give folks an additional currency of Market Match that they can use for just produce.
I also had the opportunity to talk to one of the more recent vendors to join the market, Rose Wagon Ranch, about why they advocate for programs like SNAP.
And spoke before Congress twice about that very program because it's very important. You know, anything we can do to support and to get healthy food on the table.
The Crescent City Farmers Market also has 2 other locations at Mid-City on Thursdays and City Park on Sundays. I had the chance to stop by the City Park location and was able to see that there was a variety of different vendors depending on the market you go to. If you're interested in going to the Uptown Market, you can go every Tuesday at the Batcher from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is Stone Manning with PAC News.
As food prices remain high, programs like SNAP are helping to bridge the gaps in access to healthy food.
New energy is building along the Mississippi River into New Orleans. What once was an overlooked stretch of land is now becoming a hub for community events, local food vendors, and connection. Reporter Samantha Galad takes us to the Batter to show how this transformation is bringing people together.
What used to be a quiet stretch along the river is quickly growing into one of New Orleans' biggest gathering places. This is the Batter. Once largely underused, the Batter is now seeing a wave of new activity, drawing in locals, small businesses, and visitors looking for something different along the riverfront. Events like this farmers market are helping transform the space, giving vendors a place to grow and neighbors a place to connect. Sandra from Sassy Cajun Spices talks about what it's like to be a vendor in the farmers market.
So the Batter has been pretty good. I love the Batter. I love the area on the river and stuff. I think it does well here, you know, compared to the other place.
And on days like today, the Batter feels less like a pass-through and more like a destination, with local vendors, live energy, and a growing sense of community. For many, it's not about the shopping. It's about creating a space where people can relax, gather, and experience a different side of New Orleans. Loyola student Kala Emanuele talks about what the Batter means to her.
Yes, it is my first time. Actually, I heard about it 2 days ago when we went into the barnyard, and it was our first time here at the Batter, actually. And it's very nice. I plan on coming again next Tuesday.
As more events like this take shape, the Batter is evolving into more than just riverfront land. It's becoming a space that reflects the community around it. This is Samantha Glott, PAC News.
Thanks, Samantha. With more events expected, the Batter's growth may just be getting started, but it looks like it won't be stopping anytime soon. You can check out their Instagram for more monthly schedules.
Last month, we checked in on construction along Decatur Street. Now 8 months in, the fences are still up. Cecilia Caldrine went back to see what's changed and what hasn't.
This is how the streets looked like in March. This is today. It's clear not much progress is being made. Business owners are stressed and disappointed with how the city has been handling the construction.
It's the rug pulling constantly from the city where you go, I'm just tired of having the rug pulled out from underneath me. But we didn't start the project until September, and then when we started the project in September, they've told us something different like every single month about when we can expect to have our portion of the road open.
And the impact is real.
So, but we've noticed pretty much a 30% decrease month to month.
With the slow summer season approaching after having missed all of the big festivals and celebrations that help keep these businesses afloat, the fear of staying open until construction finishes is the reality for many business owners.
But it is the stress for the whole street. It's the stress for every person that works here. It's the stress for everyone that is working on the block. That all of these businesses that I've seen around here that have been able to hold on and fight through during this busy season, right? The real story is going to be this summer.
There's a place across the street that's closed down. That used to be BB King's. The American Sports Balloon up the street a little bit is closed. And I'm not sure, some of these places, I'm not sure how long some of them will be able to hang on.
Construction is now set to finish this coming September, a whole year after it started.
This has been Cecilia Calderin for PAC News.
With the timeline shifting, business owners are paying the price. They hope to see these streets paved and open soon.
Absolutely. Be ready to talk about Jazz Fest, Stone, because we've got a lot to cover after the break.
I'm ready, my belle. From Loyola to Congo Square, jazz is alive throughout the city. Stay tuned. Jazz came to life through harmony and voice at Loyola this past week. The Loyola Vocal Jazz Ensemble recently performed for a campus audience showcasing classic jazz standards and student talent. Christopher Pouncey took us inside the performance.
After weeks of rehearsals and preparation, the Loyola University New Orleans Vocal Jazz Ensemble finally took the stage and brought the sound of classic jazz harmony to life right here on campus.
It was great to have a giant group. This is our largest ensemble in that ensemble format, and it was awesome to see them perform and show off all the music and hard work they've been performing for the last semester. I think for each individual, they realize that being a jazz vocalist, especially in an ensemble, is some of the hardest music you can make because it's your body in tune. It's not just an instrument you can tune up, and you're singing alongside 19 other people who are singing probably different notes than you.
From powerful solos to tight harmonies, Loyola's Vocal Jazz Ensemble gave the audience a performance many won't forget. Reporting from Loyola University, New Orleans, this is Christopher Pouncey, Wolfpack News.
The Loyola Vocal Jazz Ensemble says the show was the result of weeks of preparation and teamwork. The group continues to give students opportunities to grow as performers while keeping the tradition of vocal jazz alive on campus.
A British photographer puts his camera down decades ago. Then he got a taste of New Orleans. Now his work is on display at the Jazz Museum. Chris Nesbitt has the story.
We are here at the New Orleans Jazz Museum at the Old U.S. Mint. A new exhibit is premiering tonight. Less is More, the photography of Steve Rapport, featuring the renowned photographer. Rapport came to New Orleans in March of 2022. The trip was supposed to last 4 days. 7 weeks later, he moved here for good. He had spent decades in California teaching martial arts.
He's capturing a lot of New Orleans, but then he's got a lot of other famous jazzmen, let's say famous rock stars. He's in London, what have you. So,
among the faces on these walls, Paul McCartney, Tina Turner, Freddie Mercury. It's the first time his London work and his New Orleans portraits have hung together.
He loves music, and that is expressed in his art and how he interacts with musicians. He's just so enthusiastic, and that comes across in his work. It's so intentional, intense, passionate.
Rapport calls Preservation Hall his spiritual home.
It's interesting to see the way he sees through the photo, and it's kind of much more, intimate.
And Rapport calls his exhibition his return home. Chris Nesbitt, reporting for PAC News.
The New Orleans Jazz Museum is open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It sits at the Old U.S. Mint on Esplanade Avenue. Admissions details are on the museum's website.
The last weekend of Jazz Fest kicks off Thursday, but the story of music goes far beyond the festival grounds. Back to places where culture and resistance has shaped the city's sound, reporter Allie Givens takes us to Congo Square.
As New Orleans prepares for the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, thousands will gather to celebrate the city's music, culture, and traditions. But the roots of that celebration trace back to Congo Square. Today, it may feel like just another park, quiet, filled with trees and open space, but this ground holds a much deeper history. In the 18th and 19th centuries, this was one of the only places where enslaved Africans and free people of color were allowed to gather. On Sundays, they came together to dance, drum, and maintain cultural traditions in the system that tried to suppress them. Those gatherings weren't just social, they were foundational. The rhythms, movement, and call and response practices that filled this space would go on to shape the sound of New Orleans, laying the groundwork for jazz itself.
The drum mimics the heart. It's a beat. And when we are thinking similarly in a circle, the unending circle, the unbroken circle, we're one.
That sense of connection is still present today as drumming and dancing continue in the same space.
It's a spiritual act, a sacred act to call our ancestors into the present.
As Jazz Fest begins, that legacy lives on, not just on festival stages, but in the history and culture that started right here. This has been Allie Givens, Wolfpack News.
If you haven't made it out yet, there's still time to catch the final weekend of Jazz Fest and be part of the tradition yourself. After the break, we got a lot more for you.
Stay tuned to learn more about study abroad, what sustainability means at Loyola, and a local book sale.
Loyola has always been proud of the amount of international students we have on our campus.
You're right about that, Stone. Diversity is a big part of campus, much like the city that surrounds it. But Loyola has seen a recent dip in the number of international students studying here. I got a chance to speak to students and the Center for International Education Department on more.
Even with a slight dip in our numbers from this fall semester because of a number of different factors, I think that workload has increased, certainly over this past year. In fall of 2022, we had 204. In fall of 2023, we had 200. Fall of 2024, we had 219. And this past fall 2025, we had 189. So it normally hovers around 200 international students from approximately 50 different countries. And I think in general, there's just a little bit more anxiety and stress for international students that leads to increased questions and additional need for support when, traveling outside of the country.
Also, I think what we saw last year in the summer, in 2025, there was a stop of visa interview scheduling, and then students just couldn't apply for visas. And that we saw that very evidently on the exchange student side.
According to the data site opendoors.com, there have been over 7,000 international students in Louisiana within 2024 and 2025, which was around 9.3% more than the previous year. And while administrators track enrollment records, international students say their day-to-day experiences goes beyond statistics.
I'm from Tanzania in East Africa. The support that I'm getting here and just the kindness of the people is also something that I've really enjoyed in the States. Actually coming here and finding my Tanzanian big sister, like my homie, I was so happy seeing, because at first I thought that I was only alone, I was here only alone, but then coming here and then I was like, oh, there's someone else. And students also, they're not getting visa. The visas are getting declined, the visa applications are getting declined, so that also shuts down people's hopes of coming here to the States too.
As Loyola looks to the future, the international departments will continue to support the international students who decide to make another part of their homes right here in NOLA. Reporting for PAC News, this is Mabel Regalado Hernandez.
As Loyola follows the rates of international students coming in the future, we do know that the majority of students that have studied at Loyola have had a wonderful experience in the city of New Orleans. It's not like any other place.
Loyola wrapped up Earth Week last Wednesday with celebrations galore. But what does Loyola do with 51 weeks of the year in the spirit of sustainability? Eloise Pickering has the story.
Loyola had an exciting series of events and celebrations throughout Earth Week this year, from late-night nature walks to live music to building a pollinator garden in Dittman Circle.
Yeah, well, hopefully by putting this pollinator garden in the middle of campus right here where people walk by every day, it will make people more aware that this is our planet and what we've got to take care of it because it gives back to us and we only have one of them.
Students and professors all volunteered to plant a variety of plants in this area in the heart of campus to promote pollination and raise environmental consciousness on campus. Many of Earth Week's events work to promote long-term sustainability, but there's debate surrounding what Loyola could be doing as a university for our planet. With programs like glass half-full recycling and move-out donations, Loyola does well. But there's still room for improvement.
There is always improvement, always improvement in terms of sustainability. That being said, I've been at a lot of universities throughout my life, and Loyola is the the top ranking of the universities that I've been at.
Uptown Hall is rounding out its first year online with lots of sustainable features such as solar panels, and some of the building was constructed out of recycled materials. But there was promise of an energy meter in the lobby, which there is no sign of. The university has yet to comment. Loyola is moving in the right direction, but we all have work to do. This has been Eloise Pickering, PAC News.
It'll be interesting to see how the school keeps up their efforts. I hope the Culinary Guard turns out well.
A local nonprofit, Friends of the Library, raised funds for the New Orleans public library system in a big way. Jeanette Gutter has the story.
It's a book lover's dream here at the Ladder Memorial Public Library for their really big book sale. They have books, vinyl, CDs, and more. Let's take a look and see what we can find.
This specific sale happens twice a year and has only grown with time. The name is far from a lie. Spanning not only the library's front lawn, but all across the porch, back lawn, and in an indoor shop as well. It's a lot to explore.
It used to be a small event just on the porch behind me, and now it's all of these tents. You know, we had some live music here earlier, and it's just a growing event.
For just $4 a hardback and $3 a paperback, readers were buying books by the armload. There was something from every genre, and cheap books weren't the only draw. For the first time in this sale's history, vinyl records were being sold as well.
That was just happenstance. We had a wonderful collection of vinyl that was donated to us, and we find that people who like books also love physical media. You know, we're seeing a surge of interest in DVDs, CDs, and vinyl. So when we got this big vinyl collection, we thought, let's just put it out and see how it goes, and people are buying it by the armful.
The material for this event comes from donations from the public and from other libraries. The revenue generated goes to fund New Orleans Public Library programming, but Friends of the Library say it is much more than that.
You know, it's not just about selling books to raise money. We want people to visit this library and see what the library has to offer.
All this for just $16. I can't wait to read.
This has been Jeanette Gutter, PAC News.
Friends of the Library are always looking for volunteers and donations. Learn more at friendsnola.org.
That's it for this week and this semester. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Stone Manning.
And I'm Mabel Regalado Hernandez. Have a great summer, Wolfpack.